my 50th year of celebrating Confederate Memorial Day at Stone Mountain.
On Saturday, April 30th, a coalition of progressive and leftist groups, including local NAACP, Democratic Socialists, and armed anti-fascists, protested at Stone Mountain Park in Georgia as the Sons of Confederate Veterans held a Confederate Memorial Day. Stone Mountain is a Georgia state park, quite literally a gigantic stone, on which a carving completed in 1972 depicts three Confederate leaders, Jefferson Davis, Robert E. Lee, and Stonewall Jackson.
We don't need to celebrate Robert E. Lee. We don't need to celebrate Jefferson Davis because all of them are traitors. Let's just speak truth to power.
The park is accordingly informally labeled the Mount Rushmore of the Confederacy.
No justice! No peace! I said no justice!
No peace!
I said no justice!
No peace!
The site has also been used by the second and third iterations of the Ku Klux Klan for ceremonies like cross burning since 1915. The site's unique history has led it to be a flashpoint in the armed culture war of recent years. In February 2019, an event celebrating the park's Confederate history was expected to draw white nationalists, which led to the formation of an anti-fascist flower coalition. Flower, or Frontline organizations working together to end racism, assembled an armed march around the park area, and the Confederate rally did not materialize.
KKK stay home today! KKK stay home today! KKK stay home today! KKK stay home today!
Flower's main demand was that the Confederate carving be sandblasted off the rock's face. The group burned an effigy of a Klansman to celebrate. In August 2020, the area did not remain peaceful.
You want to go to jail? You want to go to jail? Yeah. You want to go to jail? Do you want to go to jail? We go.
Do it!
Confederate supporters and right-wing militia groups rallying against the proposed removal clashed with protesters, leading to sometimes bloody violence.
You caused this! This is your action!
Just because it has Black Lives Matter doesn't mean we only stand for black people. Doesn't mean only Black Lives Matter. Okay? This is an interpretation.
With them, man. They're fucking Nazis, bro. Fuck these people.
You're right.
Fuck these pussies.
Chin down! Let me down!
Even as guns were drawn against one another, police did not intervene until several hours of fighting.
I'm with all of it! I'm with all of it!
Your mother wants you to clean your room.
I'm so fucking scared! Spray it! Spray it, motherfucker! Spray it! You're fucking spray! Get back! Spray!
On April 30th of 2020, however, as the Confederate Memorial Day took place, police kept a wide distance between the area counter-protesters were allowed to occupy and the memorial itself. Anti-fascists carried firearms, as did the Confederate supporters. No violence occurred, but heavily armed state police watched from a distance, apparently prepared to intervene.
Well, in 2021, the Georgia General Assembly had a bill introduced that said as follows, quote, "It would prohibit the display of monuments, memorials, plaques, markers, memorabilia related to the Confederate States of America, slave owners, persons advocated for slavery on public property except for museums and Civil War battlefields." That would cover 12 of our first 16 presidents, actually first 18 presidents. Honest Abe, as you may have heard, is also under attack for hanging Indians and championing the Pacific Railroad.
I don't care if you're white or black, it's your attitude and your beliefs that trouble me. Because your beliefs is about death and destruction and not about people being people and living together and being prosperous.
Protesters decried the Confederate supporters as losers. Supporters of the Confederacy acknowledged that their side indisputably lost the war, but cited examples of other historical losers in military conflicts continuing to be celebrated in history.
Americans do love winners, and sometimes people will state as if it were a fact that nobody honors losers. Let's seek to educate the ignorant. In Israel, at the Battle of Masada, for example, every man, woman, and child there was either killed by the Romans or committed suicide. The nation went on to be completely dominated by Rome, and Jerusalem was sacked. Yet today, the Israeli Defense Forces swears in its officers at the site of this disaster. Israel remembers. Ireland and Scotland are filled with monuments and memorials, songs and legends about failed independence efforts. Recently, Braveheart told the story of William Wallace, who was defeated and executed for the education of the American audiences.
How do you feel like they felt behind that gate?
Yeah. Compared to the last years, definitely, I think that you could see a difference that was made over the years because there's a lot smaller number of individuals here. They were definitely scared, intimidated, or felt bad about who they were. But this time, that because of that small number, it was a lot easier to contain, and I think that it became it was a lot more docile than in past years, and in that we might see it grow next year. And that has a lot to do with the police presence and the way it was designed. But overall, it was a good action because we can make noise and let them know it wasn't okay. But I still want to make racists a little bit more afraid.
Last month, Republican Governor Brian Kemp appointed the Reverend Abraham Mosley as the Stone Mountain Memorial Association chairman, the first black man to hold the role.
No Brian Kemp, no KKK, racist USA. No Brian Kemp, no KKK, no racist USA. These white supremacists got to go.
While this move was seen as marginal progress for the left, the protesters were disappointed that the Confederate Memorial Day was still allowed to take place with police protection, and that no solid plans currently exist to remove the monument from the mountain. Ford Fisher, News to Share, with footage by David Decker for Activism Uncensored, a collaboration with TK News.